Spot, this game coming up, relegation, and of course, alternate are here again.
And it's a big game, Jojo, as we're about to get this one live. So much ongoing in this tournament. We've had ups, downs, roundabouts. We've had it all, and it's only going to come up to a thrilling conclusion.
Yeah, the first map, well, the only map actually, of course, it's best of one throughout the tournament, is going to be Tuscan. Now, let's talk a little bit about that. Surely this map is kind of weighing on and favouring alternate.
Yeah, I'd never pick Tuscan against a German team. The Germans play it so much more in the ESL, EPS here in Germany that it just favors them. For the rest of the world, it's a map that is only played in tournaments like this rather than a map that is part of the rotation, so I just wouldn't do it.
What do you think about the rest of the teams in the tournament? Obviously, over on the other side, we have We Made Fox against SK, Fnatic, and of course MTW already through into that upper bracket.
Well, We Made Fox are a 50-50 team, a good map, a good day. Yeah, they can come through and they can beat most. SK, exactly the same. The first team here in Hanover to beat MTW. That was a big thing, and yet they then, after beating MTW, went on to draw against MIBR the next game. MIBR, who have come and really offered very little this event. So it's consistency that's needed, and I think only Fnatic and MTW have got it right now.
Yeah, I can't quite believe that MIBR managed to beat SK. I mean, they won that game and they still finished bottom of the group. That tells you exactly how bad this tournament was for MIBR. And they had one draw in there as well. I mean, MTW, they looked phenomenal throughout the whole tournament. Of course, they've lost just one game, and that was to SK, which even that was a surprise.
It really was. MTW have looked fantastic. The game against SK proved that MTW are human after all. I think we need a reminding of that, because prior to that, they did not look beatable.
Well, MTW, of course, due to that MIBR victory, finished first place in the group with 12 points. Fnatic won the Group B with 15 points. Alternate finished second in that one. And Alternate still, that was the only game they lost yesterday to a Fnatic side who are looking, well, quite formidable since the start of the Globals. And the European finals are a stepping stone, new players in the team. And as they move forward, they seem to get stronger every day.
Yeah, and if you recall, Fnatic versus Alternate in the European finals just a few days ago finished 16-14, and it was very close, and Fnatic could have taken that. Alternate, for all the German fans out here, have done brilliantly in this tournament. If you haven't been following the story, Alternate came in, and I think if they qualified for the World Finals, they would have been very happy. If they got through that first group, they didn't just get through, they got all the way to the final. Lost in the final, but in overtime. Now are playing very well in the World Finals, come through in second place, only losing to Fnatic. They really are a romance story of how this game can be played from the underdog up.
Yeah, second place in the European finals, and of course, they're already in a quite good position here in the Globals. They have to beat MYM to go through into the upper bracket. And actually, we will bring Alternate on stage first. So you guys out there in the crowd, you need to make a lot of noise for Alternate. You heard what Moon said before. Let's bring them on stage. First man will be someone who's impressed me thoroughly throughout this tournament. He's, of course, Roman R, 25 years old. The entire roster of Alternate Attacks is, of course, German. Next man on stage, Pan, a huge clutch player that we've seen in action and on form the whole weekend, Toss.
Yes, Pan's been brilliant. Comes up in these situations which he's got no right to. There's a Prox chiming in on the crowd as well. They need to hear you all throughout this game.
And, of course, we have Moon, the man that says they play 40% better with the crowd behind them. Well, that 40% may just be the difference between the teams. Then finally, we have Roman, who's come back into this Alternate lineup with fireworks.
He really has. He's set things in motion. Both he and Roman are, when the chips are down, come up with something very, very big for them right when Alternate need it.
Who do you think's the player that we need to watch in this one? I mean, for Alternate, Roman yesterday was on form. Prox was hitting his shots. It just seemed very good all around for Alternate.
It really did. It really was all-rounder team performance that won and did very well. But Pan, for me, has been the man who, well, named after Peter Pan, because he can fly. And at times he really does. He just gets himself in positions which he's got no right to get out of, and he comes out with 2 or 3 frags.
Well, let's have a look at the team that will face them in this game. It will, of course, be MYM from Poland. Well, former great champion. Up on stage first, he's Kuban. He was taken out of the lineup and has returned and has been on form this entire time. 20 years old. All of these players are Polish. Then we have Taz, one of the louder guys in the team. He gets some cheers from the crowd. Yesterday we saw MYM coming up on stage smiling, and it certainly seems like they're in that kind of frame of mind again. Lord, 21 years old, and again, can make a real big difference. Solid player for Meet Your Makers. Then we have Luke, a bad boy of the team, let's say. And again, if he's on form, which he has been, things could be very difficult for alternate. Then, of course, the star player is going to be Neo. His brother's an MMA star back in Poland, and Neo looking to be knocking people out today.
Neo has to. MYM need Neo, but MYM are now, for whatever reason at this event, set up where Neo is arguably one of the most defensive players in the team, and it doesn't work. Neo is a battering ram. Send him in, he'll take them all out. But right now, we've seen yesterday in that game on Inferno, we saw Neo being the defensive player, watching his team's back, making sure that no one's coming from behind. That's a waste of Neo's undeniable talent.
Well, we're going to go to a quick advertisement. When we come back, we'll sit down with the managers from Meet Your Makers and Alternate. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Global Finals. Here in our interview lounge, we've got Sigga and Twice, the two managers of Alternate and MYM, respectively. We're going to start with you, Sigga. You have finally found yourselves a real challenging opponent in your groups yesterday. It was Fnatic. They were able to beat you. Talk us through what went wrong in that match for you.
We got a bit lack of there was like concentration and motivation in this game. We already knew that we made the group stage, but well, it was an important match. But Fnatic keep just getting over us, and the players didn't have the motivation and the energy to get back in the game.
Is playing 5 games in one day just one or two too many?
Yeah, seems to be.
Now, from your perspective, you got this great big crowd. How much is that going to boost you on?
Well, I hope it gives us the advantage to take the win over MYM. It's the first time we play Tuscan in this tournament, so we need the crowd, definitely we need the crowd cheering for us.
Now, if we make a football analogy, is it at times like this where there's kind of a benefit of being at home?
Definitely, yeah.
Now, from your perspective, you know MYM very well. How are you expecting to face up against them? And was Tuscan an odd choice? Because most foreign teams would eliminate Tuscan early.
Well, I think MYM took this map because they think that the chances are the best on this map to take a win over us. We would prefer to play Dust 2, but Tuscan's also good.
Well, let's find out why MYM chose Tuscan. From an outside perspective, normally the foreign team's eliminated against Germans. You didn't. Why?
Well, there are several reasons for that. One of them is we feel ourselves we have a pretty good Tuscan. We won the USWC on Tuscan. And the second reason is we feel that Alternate is not good on Tuscan at all. We feel that there's like this myth about the German teams on Tuscan making all the foreign teams not choose it. And we're trying to call their bluff.
Oh, nice. Now, we saw that yesterday against MTW. It was a positive start. There were opportunities for MYM, but at the end, you got very slow, very defensive, and it didn't work for you. What went wrong against MTW last night?
Well, I don't really know. I think we got off to a good start, and we tried in the middle of the game to change our strategies to go defensive. That didn't work, obviously. So we went home and looked at our mistakes and come back for a new day today.
Now, a point Joe and I made in the commentary was we didn't feel MYM were utilizing Neo enough. I mean, he's a very explosive, talented player, but he's been quiet, and in all honesty, he's been quiet all week long. How do you unleash Neo?
Well, I don't think he's been quiet at all. I think he won several games for us. He'd been quiet in the 2 stage matches we had. We've been trying some new strategies, running things a little different than just putting Neo in front and let him do his thing. But he's been playing like he always plays and has been playing really good in the tournament area.
Talk to us about this crowd. The Germans, of course, probably not behind you. Does that make any difference for you?
No, that's actually an advantage for us, I think. Our team has always been fired up by things not going our way. We all remember the biggest game ever on the, was it VCG final, where we had like 6,000 fans cheering for NOA and 50 Polish guys cheering for PGS. And it just managed to rage them even more. So I think it's an advantage for us, for people cheering against us.
Okay, well, guys, I wish you all the best of luck. Most notably, getting back to the stage. We are several players deep here. All the best, guys. When we come back, we're going to get this game started. It's Alternate versus MYM.
So, Tosspot, an advantage maybe with a big German crowd here obviously going to be supporting Alternate to MYM. I mean, I also think that's maybe true. I think Ronnie's right in what he says there, that actually these MYM players love to be almost against the crowd. It seems to fire them up a lot more.
Yeah, they really do like to, well, almost be hated. They feel passion and controversy, and they stare in the face of adversity and normally pull something out. So I think it's a big, big time for them. There's a lot of question marks of MYM right now. They've made roster changes over the past sort of, well, not 12 months, but they brought players in, out, and it hasn't found that consistency that won them so many events. I think now is another example of that there may be something not 100% in MYM, and, well, they're either going to sort it out on the stage and come good, or they're going to falter.
Well, I think MYM yesterday, the first game, they actually seemed to have changed almost. They were happy. The day before, when we saw them get destroyed on stage against MTW, they were down in the dumps even before the game started. But when we saw them yesterday, they looked happy. They were having fun, and they said something must have happened overnight in the players' house that made them kind of fired up and seem a bit more happy coming into yesterday. And today, I think they look kind of similar, maybe a little bit more focused today. They know that it's now crunch time in this tournament. $50,000 for first place. It's no small change.
It is no small change. This is a huge event, the biggest check that's out there for CS for a long time, until, well, maybe until the summer, in fact. That 50,000 first place is, I guess only WCG will have a prize anywhere near that. So massive tournament, massive impetus on this. This one could fund these teams for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and of course, Tuscan. Let's talk a little bit about that, because it is an interesting subject. As Ronnie said, that Alternate actually maybe don't have that great of a Tuscan, and they want to dispel that myth that you should always avoid Tuscan against German teams.
I don't think it's a myth. I think it's just a reality that they play it more than everybody else. However, if you're confident in your own ability, then what else does anything else matter? If you're better, if you think you're very strong on Tuscan, then play Tuscan.
Well, I think it could be a good map for MYM. I mean, they have that explosive power with players like Neo. Of course, their AWPs that they can use either Luke or Kuban, in my opinion, will control completely over by that banana.
Yes, I think if the MYM players show up, and by that I mean play well, because at times yesterday they didn't, then they can control this map. This is a map that will favor them. I also think it's a map that could favor Neo as well, getting up in some close-range situations, chasing out players. So, yeah, could be good.
Certainly could be. I mean, who are the players who are watching that alternate lineup? I think Aprox, this is a map where he really has to shine. That AWP has to make an impact on the game.
Yeah, there's pressure on Aprox and Moon, undoubtedly, depending on which one picks it up. Pan, Roman, and Roman are, well, what they've basically decided this tournament is, one round, I'm going to frag 3 guys. The next round, you can frag 3 guys. The following round, you'll get a clutch situation. It's just been that sort of lovely situation for them where each one of them has found their form when they've needed it. So it's not a bad position to be in for them.
And Neo, we said, was a little bit quiet yesterday. Twice the MYM manager said, Neo's on form. He's hitting the shots that he usually hits. I think that may well be true, but the point is that I don't think they're using him properly, and they're not using the fact that he can pull those shots out to their advantage. A lot of the time, he was the man hanging back and actually watching, for any rotations behind them and making sure they weren't being flanked. And I don't think that's Neo's greatest position.
No, I totally agree. Twice did say it was the matches on the stage where he was quieter. They being the only ones we watched. Maybe that's quite accurate. However, Neo is a player that is best in the world when he wants to be. So I think you just got to let him do what he wants, and that's smell an opponent, kill an opponent, and then move on to the next.
Yep. MYM saying, let's go. And it looks like we're almost ready to go here. We've got all 5 players from either team sat down and in the server. And you can see twice there up on the left-hand side of the stage, has his headset on ready so he can talk to the players during this game as well. So who do you think, from your experience, kind of leads their team the strongest out of Alternate and MYM?
I think Alternate right now are all together. There's a team unity, a team happiness that I don't think many other people, maybe only MTW, have got. So I think that's the strongest part of it, the team happiness, the cohesion.
Yeah, and Alternate actually have 2 men behind them usually, Sigga and another one whose name completely kind of evades me every time, even though he told me about 5 times the other day. You know, and that kind of big family feeling can really make a difference, in my opinion. It almost feels like you've got a 6th player there with you at times. Of course, we will be having a 9th round. If you're not familiar with Counter-Strike, that will decide which side a team will start on. And, well, things with Tusken aren't quite so clear. You know, it's, you know, this style of map, usually you would favor a CT side, but a lot of the T sides we've seen, maybe due to inexperienced teams playing Tusken and things like this, have led to some very strong T rounds. And I think overall, this map should be fairly balanced between these 2 teams.
Yeah, I'd agree with that point. I think if MYM are as well rehearsed as they say they are, then perhaps it could favor CT, because we might get a more normal, expectant Tusken, but that's very much open for debate. I think we're going to see a lot of unexpected strats, and I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by what we see. However, we're underway on the 9th round. This important, of course, a glorified coin toss, if you will, and we've even got a little chase going on.
Yeah, one of the MY players, Kubas, has actually backed away and ran around the whole other side of the map. Taz has managed himself 1, but Meteor Maker's down to just a 1 versus 4 now. And I can't really see Kuban pulling this one off. He will be surrounded here by the Germans. He does take down a prox, but Roman comes around the back. And that is the 9th round then to Alternate. They can pick which side they want, and it looks like they will be sticking T side.
Yes, they're going to have a quick chat whilst they get this one underway. They can't hear much on the stage, but I think this is pretty big that these guys are looking to do it right on the front of the stage, have a big chat. I mean, we are absolutely packed here, standing room only at CeBIT, and, well, perhaps, Joe, we should try and incite this crowd and get them to warm up and find their voices.
Yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit of noise for Alternate, to be honest. I think, as Moon has said time and time again in both English and German, I think, on the stage, that he said to me 40% better is what the crowd can push Alternate to.
All right, guys, if you want Alternate to win, put your hands together and make some noise. And just to be fair, if you want MYM to win, put your hands together and make some noise. One lady in the front's clapping and another chap. So they do have 2 or 3 fans here.
That was quite predictable. I mean, German team at CeBIT, I think they're going to have the crowd behind them the whole way. So you guys, every time Alternate get frags, get rounds, you should be making noise and driving them on. Of course, they're the only German team here, which is a shock.
It is a shock. I think many people expected Mousesports to probably be sitting where Alternate are right now. However, Alternate dispatched of them, 16-14 here on the stage the other day. That was a game and a half. And very intrigued to see whether they could do it again against MYM.
MYM not having the greatest finishes to yesterday. They started off strongly against MTW in the group stage, but in the end, they couldn't quite keep it up. And now both teams are sat down. We should get this one underway any second. Tusken, in my opinion, is going to favour Alternate in the slightest, but I think MYM, judging by the statement, are quietly, well, not quietly confident. I don't think MYM are ever quietly confident. They are confident coming into this one.
I favour Alternate for this one because they played better CS over the past few days. Regardless of the map choice that we got, I would favour Alternate right now. And I think that this is reality that MYM are going to have to face, that despite their huge history, despite their strength in depth, they're no longer the world's #1, and arguably, on performance here, they're no longer the world's #2 or 3 or 4. There's work to be done by the Poles, but we're underway. It's the pistol round. Here we go, following Alternate as they set themselves up. They have yet to commit. MYM have set their defense up. Alternate, though, still holding steady. As you can see, Aprox is just lined up waiting on the left side of the map, but in the middle, there's a little gathering of Alternate as they wait. They've stacked up, in fact. MYM quite happy to sit and wait, but now are beginning to extend themselves as Aprox is close to one of them. He will make his way through. The MYM players are, in fact, going through. Alternate now regroup. They're going to have Roman, Pan, Aprox, and Moon all ready to make this assault for them, as the bomb is with Pan on that attack, but at the moment Alternate are waiting on him. He's the furthest man forward on this attack for them as well. Pan will make that push. Here come the Germans now as they nade on in and make their way out in toward that site. Few shots get fired on in as the opening exchanges begin, trying to come into that top side. It's Moon that opens up the fragging for Alternate. Lord B goes down and Luke now will nade across. Nade goes off in his face. Alternate double HE from Roman. Huge hit from him. Alternate a 3 up, and now there's just 2 left up for MYM. Taz misses his shot and will feel the full force of the Prox. It's Neo or bust for MYM, and he goes about his business but can't down Roman. And that's what it means to them.
That was too slow from MYM. They actually had 2 men pushed all the way through the sewer. And obviously, if you're not familiar with the map, that can actually come up behind the T's. Taz did it in the end, but by the time he got into position, Alternate were already looking back to there in case of the flank. If he'd have gone up just a few seconds earlier, Alternate were completely focused on pushing into that one site. And, well, it just didn't really work out for them. MYM this time will go aggressive down middle with Luke and also Neo. I think Kuban will join them as well. So they're looking for something a little bit special here in this second round. As Luke will fire away onto his teammates. Alternate at the moment gathered over on the left-hand side of the map. Looking like they're ready to assault that number 1 site. At the moment, just sat on the ramp up into the 1. Continue to wait out. They edge their way around slowly. It's actually empty. Meet Your Makers, the 4 remaining players, are actually over inside of the middle area still. They won't be able to put anything into action here. Alternate are expecting Meet Your Makers to be stacked up in this site, which is why they're moving around very, very slowly. Flashes have gone in as well. Finally, that bomb plant will be put down by Alternate, and Meet Your Makers have to get in. Aprox takes down Kuban. Look, and the rest of his 2 remaining teammates will try and get in there. But of course, they only have pistols. They have no money after losing that pistol round, and this really should go to Alternate. Roman will pick off Luke. Lord will look to get around there as well. He's moving very, very slowly in that bomb. Surely not going to have time to be defused. He goes for the shots onto Moon. Moon will pick him off. Neo is the only one there. He's got a deagle. Should set up here for the exit frags. He obviously can't get in for that bomb. Roman will take him down, and that is 2-0 Alternate.
Good work by the Germans as they go about their work diligently. It's, of course, as we mentioned, harder on the CT side should you lose that pistol round, because it really is so expensive to try and come back. So Alternate will look to close this one out. It'll set us up for that first buy round after this. And I think from the Alternate side, having lost to Fnatic yesterday, a good start was just what the doctor ordered. They wanted to just belay any fears that maybe they were coming off the rails. They wanted to make sure that really they were back where they belong. And I say that because their performances in the European final and coming second, and their great start here in the World Finals, has proven that this Alternate side are a top 5 team in the world right now. And that is about to be enforced here in the final placings in the global finals, should they get past this game. However, Alternate open up the fragging. It's Neo that goes down, and Joe, MYM are a bit of a momentum team, are a bit of a to do with a confidence boost team, and this will have only hurt them.
Yeah, certainly losing pistol, and then what you would expect to be an extra round here as well. Up to 3 will certainly kind of put them down, but they have to forget about that. They have to bounce straight back here in the next round when, of course, they can afford weapons. Taz will get a double. Well, here come Alternate. In the end, it was fairly easy for them, and Meteor Makers made it expensive there for Alternate, getting 2 kills. But now we get to the really interesting rounds. Meteor Makers have money. They can buy, obviously, weapons. And this round will certainly be a lot closer. Meteor Makers try to get back on the board.
Yeah, MYM need this. The confidence will come oozing back. And at worst, they just need to make it close. Get some frags on the board and really go to town on their opponents.
Yeah, Luke will be the man that's employing that AWP for Meteor Makers. Roman R at the moment is edging his way up Banana. He's decided actually that they're going to go back around middle. Alternate spread out in a nice line here to get those early picks, and I think that's what they're aiming for. Roman R will spot someone from behind there. It was Kuban. I'm pretty sure that he's taken damage down to 74, and it's, as you can see, a double up defense on Tuscan for MYM. They have Kuban over by the 2 side. They have Luck around middle. And well, Alternate have to take one of these ups out of play to get things started. Roman R and Aprox are actually working their way up middle. Luke will spot ahead, but doesn't connect to it. And finally, we'll drop back. Alternate running the clock down. We've got 1 minute remaining, of course. We're playing 2-minute rounds here in the Intel Extreme Masters, which MYM yesterday were literally taking, 1 minute and 40 seconds, 1 minute and 50 seconds off before they made a move anywhere, which was not the usual MYM play style, and not the play style that certainly won them the silverware in the past. Alternate, again, wait for the right moment. We've got just 30 seconds, and this will probably be the attack. It's a pincer kind of attack from Alternate. People up middle, people up Banana, and they will now move in. Roman's going around with a prox. Neo is now at the top of that side. He will fire away. Him and Kuban both make the frags. Looking for another one is Neo. He does find it with that USP. A prox moves in, misses his shot. Will find them with his USP. Roman was there, but Neo getting his second really made the difference in that round by picking up a prox. And that will be job done for MYM, taking the first gun round.
Yes, it will be, and MYM find their voices. A scream across to Alternate was the typical MYM style. They look to play you both on the server and in your heads almost. And we are going to see whether MYM can follow that one up. Alternate have decided to go on the save as they now will find Neo, who is beginning to open up the frags here. He's got 6 in this first half already. Moon gets 1. Downs Kuban. We're at a 4-on-4. Alternate force a full rotation out of MYM. They've instantly ran all the way over to that Banana site. It's going to be a lot harder for them to get back, but Alternate are slow in their assault. Aprox the only man pushing out on the left, as the rest of them are now beginning to make their way across. Roman and Pan will join the assault. MYM counter-rotate and get back on that top side. Moon got an AWP and shows how to use it. Gets himself the frag onto Neo. Of course, having down Kuban maybe had the AWP for MYM, not sure. As yeah, they would have taken it off Kuban. But we are down to a 3-on-3. This AWP could turn to be a big weapon in this one for Alternate. He can open up this site for them, as long as those 2 Deagles can offer some assistance. Taz gets the first frag though for MYM, and it's 3-on-2 in favor of the Poles. Then he gets himself another one. Roman goes down, and Alternate find themselves in trouble. Moon misses his shot. Taz gets his hat trick. MYM 2, Alternate 3.
So that second round where MYM actually took away, the third round where MYM got kills on the save, and that's what made it expensive, and that's what forced Alternate to actually save that round after losing the 1. So the weapons should be back in play here for the Germans. They should be able to get back into this one. Of course, they scored 3 rounds to 2. They still lead here over Meteor Makers. We'll now look to extend that back to a 4-2 advantage. They spread out again down towards this bottom area. Kuban and Neo, the 2 men that peaked earlier around middle. We've seen some interesting strategies from some of the European teams, and when I say European teams, I mean aside from the German teams who play it more often in aggressive CT side plays down the middle area particularly can be very, very dangerous. And well, maybe seeing one of those here as well. And Neo, much to my delight, is playing his aggressive position today. He does get one kill in middle. That will slow Alternate down, but MYM have lost Neo now in this situation. As we come down to a 4-on-4, Neo is top fragging for Meteor Makers as well. As now Alternate head their way down in towards the one site at the moment. It looks like they could be sending a couple of men down through the sewers. That area can be real dangerous, but if you get heard just one footstep beneath you, your position's given away and they can cover you.
Yeah, it is almost it's almost a, can't think of the adjective. But I totally agree with you. I completely messed that one up. But Alternate know that time is also no longer on their side. Only 25 seconds for them to win this round.
Yep, they are going to make their push here any second. Flashes have already gone over. Pan has taken down Taz. And Alternate will now move around into this site, with Moon and Roman both getting kills each. MYM really on the back foot now. Of course, Lord is the only man standing for the poles, and he will be taken down by Moon inside of ramp. And Alternate are going to pick up another round. They lead 4-2 here on T-side. And Tosspot, what do you think they're aiming for score-wise on T-side?
I think they'll be a little bit curious as to what MYM have to offer on CT. And so far, those 2 gun rounds won by MYM would suggest that this is not going to be the easiest side for them to play. But coming into this 7th round with MYM on what looks like a save, they're going to look to pick this one up. This will set us up at 5-2 if successfully converted. And already they're giving themselves real ammunition to play with in the second half. Taz finds one, but a Prox gets not one but 2 frags, and the third. Luke gets one back in on a Prox, and MYM get themselves 2 AKs there as the pair of them get out of there from those 2 frags that they got. The other Alternate players, though, are now running in towards that site. Luke is the man that's going to have to cover. He quickly drops back to watch the 6 as Neo's coming the long way around. This is reclaimable by MYM, a 2-on-3 with guns. Difficult, though, as the bomb ticks away and the smoke just makes it that little bit harder. Neo is waiting on exit, and will find one, makes it expensive, pan down. It's a 2-on-2, but a save out by MYM, and rightly so. 5-2 the score for Alternate. Very, very good start from them.
Those grenades made a great difference there at the end. I mean, Neo and Luke could have got back into that side. That smoke was put down in a position where they couldn't see in, and they had to push through the smoke and kind of go in there almost, exposed as they went through there blind. And that's why they didn't push in. They decided to save those weapons. Neo, of course, kept a hold of that AK at the end, which really made things very, very interesting. Alternate, of course, picking up the round, will now look to continue that. MYM, on the other hand, have weapons once again. Kuban will be the man with that AWP down middle. The great thing about that AWP is it can control big, big areas.
Yes, they can, and Alternate are cagey, and I implore Alternate's current setup, because they really aren't taking any mistakes despite having confidence going into this round. And so far, Slow and Steady seems to be winning the race.
Alternate just setting themselves up now on the middle ramp. Looking up, that overlook here is dangerous, and it will be proven that way as Kuban does pick off Roman R. Moon will still peek though, which interesting decision for Moon to actually peek out there. Either way, Alternate won't be too phased by that one. They are down to 4 men against the 5 of MYM. Now they look to make their way around. Neo's actually on the banana. Kuban will be backing it up as well, so Alternate have to get those headshots, if you like, as they run in there. They have to get entry kills. They are going to be making a move into the number 2 site. Moon will be the first one around. He darts in there. Oh, brilliant flash was already put out. Kuban was completely blind. The smokes will go in as well. And now Moon will look to get the bomb down. It's 4 versus 4. Meet Your Makers will try to get themselves back into this site, but Pan is holding them off nicely. Taz goes down. Pan will move in here again, but falls to Luke. Neo gets himself a second. Moon will reply, and it's now a 2 versus 2. Neo is on the site itself, only 9 HP. Aprox will sit back, picks off Neo, is looking for the final one. Luke is the last man standing, and Moon was to the left of the door. Luke goes down, and a great round from Alternate. Even being one man down, managed to overpower that site and then defend it brilliantly.
Yeah, really top-notch stuff from Alternate there. Got to hand it to them. They played that situation very well, and now 6-2 up make things very difficult. Deagle round from 1, not even all of the MYM players here, as it will be Neo to go a completely separate way to the team. Let's see if we can find him. The MYM players, though, do look like they're going to chase this one. Roman at the double. Luke and Taz meet their maker. As now Pan comes in. Lord B and Neo do pick up frags, but it's all on Kuban, and he is down. And Alternate are zinging through these rounds. Great stuff from them.
You can see the almost cheeky smile on the face of Pan there after that one.
We almost had a Mexican wave a moment ago in the crowd.
A Mexican wave, really.
Almost.
Just looking at the scoreboard, Moon leading the way for Alternate. I think this is a map which really suits Moon's play style, you know. Aggressive in places, but he's one of those fantastic holding players that will just literally sit there with all the patience in the world and wait for the CTs to actually rotate or come to him. At the moment, MYM 2-9 for Kuban, 2-7 for Lord, 3-7 for Luke. It's just not enough at the moment, and it's 7 rounds to 2. MYM do have money, and of course, therefore, do have weapons. We've already lost one of them. Roman will spray through the smoke, hoping to catch Neo, and Alternate are edging their way around. As you can see, Roman is being a little bit cheeky. This is the area we talked about earlier that can be super, super deadly if you get into those right positions. Roman is the bomb carrier, so as soon as he goes through this door, he's going to open right onto the number 1 site, which means that when he does that, he should get the bomb down right away because it's completely empty now. There's no one there from MYM. As Roman does open the door, he looks around, there's nobody there. Luke picks off a prox over the other side of the map. Alternate have to get into position. Look at Kuban. Kuban with a double, actually. Brilliant stuff from MYM, and it looked good for Alternate. Well, now it's all on Roman. He's a 3 versus 1. He was caught with his knife out. And well, Lord came round at exactly the right time. It will bring the score to 7-3. We have 5 rounds remaining in his first half.
Yes, we do. 7-3. Alternate on fire right now. The Germans, buoyed by their home support, are finding things, well, dare I say, a little easy on the T side. MYM need to ask a few more questions. If MYM are able to get up to 5, though, then there's enough for them to play with in the second half. They need 2 more, as now we will have Lord B and Taz, who's in front of him, going through. What they don't know is that Roman and Pan are flanking them around from underneath, and that would suggest, as they gain a little bit of pace on that, Neo will rotate around, and he makes his way back. Now gets his way through. Slowly but surely here for Alternate again. Lord B gets himself 1. It's Moon that goes down. Good extension of that defense from MYM. They just reached out an arm and found Alternate wanting as Pan is ready to make his assault. He and Roman now need Aprox to really get into a position. In fact, Aprox has died. Kuban B's got it. And it's now or never for Alternate. They could wait here for another 45 seconds, or they can actually do something. I think they're going to favor the latter. Here we go. Luke drops Roman, and Roman Arg follows suit. Pan comes in with 1, and 2. Good stuff from Pan, but it's not enough. MYM pick up the round, and, well, Alternate tried to set themselves up there for a push. They tried to have a prox coming in from the left, the 2 coming in from the back, and then someone else coming up through the middle. I forget who it was, and it would have worked. but for MYM's great ability just to extend that defense when they want to, and they had a bit of faith in themselves, MYM, and it paid off.
For that push around the back to really work, you need someone at the front making a lot of noise and throwing a lot of grenades out. And I don't think they had that. Obviously, Roman went down, and it was all a little bit too uncoordinated from Alternate. I'm sure they can do better. Neo and Luke go to work, and actually Neo there on the number 2 site will literally just hold his trigger down and let Alternate run straight into the bullets. The score 5-7. MYM doing their job, I think, for this first half, and any more rounds now will be a bonus for them.
Yep, MYM have given themselves something to play with in the second half, and food for thought for Alternate now as they find themselves needing to make sure that they don't let what was a very positive opening 10 rounds become a mediocre or an average 15 rounds as Roman makes his push through. Again, Alternate are cagey in their assault. No pace, but at the same point, no mistakes. Roman will fire off a few shots going in there. That is Kuban and Neo that are there. MYM very, very quick to rotate. 3 players have made a move here. Roman are doing exactly what he perhaps wanted to do and cause a fuss. But MYM are game to that. They know that having seen no bodies and heard only bullets, they don't need to worry too much. Alternate with Pan and Roman still retracted from the assault. There's Luke in the middle. He's got Lord B and Taz with him. No one anywhere near them. Alternate are split up right now, using the full 2 minutes that they've got to do this one again. This time, though, they've not lost any players. That's the big difference here. If they are going to run a split attack, it's going to come from making sure they've got the numbers. And here they go. Aprox makes his push. Looks up top, no one there. Now looks to the top of the box, still no one there. Through the wall, shots come down. Aprox runs backwards quickly. The bomb you saw moving away with Moon. Still a lot of work to do here. Moon has been dropped by Kuban. He had the bomb. Neo still about to get on the action. As MYM now make their way in. Neo gets himself that frag. 3 players here for Alternate. Going down one by one by one. That banana walkway is becoming a graveyard for Alternate. And MYM pull it back. It's 7-6.
MYM really getting into the swing of things now on CT side, and Alternate, again, they just can't seem to work it out now, how to get through that MYM defense. And I'm not sure whether it's the strategies of Alternate that are lacking or whether MYM's defense is really on form at the moment. I guess a bit of both, to be honest. Alternate have Deagles in this round. Of course, we move into the final 2. Luke will peek out. He manages to get himself 2. There's the 4th one for Luke. Let's see if he can get the final one. He won't. It's stolen by Taz. Of course, Alternate were on the save, so you can expect something like that to happen on those eco rounds. Well, the score is all tied up. 7 rounds to 7. This is the last round of the first half.
It is the last round of the first half, and it's a sticky situation for Alternate because these final 5 rounds have not gone the way they wanted, and they must now make a change. Wouldn't hurt them to do something simple in this last round because Complicated hasn't been successful. Oh, shot rattled off from Neo. Doesn't deliver the first time, misses a second time. Should fall, but doesn't. They don't follow that one up. Moon did not chase Neo out then. And Alternate get away with 5 men, as do MYM from those early exchanges. Neo now continues to look with that AWP, but there's nothing there for him. You see Roman ready to make his push up here, and there's not been much joy for Alternate down this left side of the map going into the one site. In fact, there have been very few attempts to get in there. But Alternate are going to go for it this time. There's 3 of them there. Taz, Luke, and Lord B, the ones that are going to find them. They nade in and still uncommitted. Still in 2 minds as to whether they want to rotate. Aprox and Moon are going to go to the middle, though. This looks like it's going to be a 3-2 split onto the one side. It is. Here go Alternate now. Nades in. Roman opens up the shooting. Doesn't find the frag. He knows there's someone on the other side of that smoke, but he can't find it. He and Pan are in trouble. Taz finds himself the first frag. Luke's looking for more. They're down to that right-hand side. In fact, Luke's really just hemmed in here. Taz gets one more. Neo picked off. Taz has got two. See if we can find him. Finally, down by Moon and Roman. Alternate get themselves right back into this one. Everyone hemmed in position. Roman dropped frags onto Lord B. Frag movie stuff. Luke comes back with one. Roman, Luke at the double. MYM pick up the last round of the half. And they go in 8-7 up, having been 7-2 down. Excellent work.
That's a big confidence boost there for MYM. Roman did a fantastic job. Some shots and kills that he really may not have, should have pulled off, and especially the one dropping off the box straight into the head of the MYM player. But, you know, Luke held firm, and I think that's a good defense from MYM. They, as I said before this match, decided they're going to try and call the German bluff, if you like, that is Tuscan. And I think this really might just work out for them. They're looking a lot more solid, a lot more confident than they did yesterday. I mean, we saw them on Inferno on T-side. They were, quite frankly, boring to watch. They were slow. They were running the clock down in all the wrong places. We actually have SK Gaming against We Made Fox in the other relegation game. And actually, SK seem to be on fire today as well. They are 15 rounds to 6 up. They need just one more to go into the playoffs.
Yes, they do. And, well, it's very, very important that SK get through that without too much hassle. 15-6 is a good scoreline for them. Bring back the confidence, make them forget that MYM game, and maybe now get themselves across the finishing line, and then a match against the winner of this one.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see who will actually go up against who in those playoffs. I can see the Fnatic management watching on eagerly, maybe looking to pick up some tips for their team. Just another quick start. I mean, while we're talking about Fnatic, they're the only unbeaten team in the global finals.
They are the only unbeaten team in the global finals, and they found form. We said on day one, Fnatic will get stronger as the tournament grows old, and they have grown old with this tournament. Now that newish lineup is very, very strong, looks well gelled, and I think that's probably just the experience of being in these pressure situations together. And of course, they beat Alternate to win their group.
Well, the score at the moment, 8 rounds to 7 in favour of Meet Your Makers. Not sure how well Alternate feel at half-time, but one man that can find out for us on the stage is Matt Ryder.
What an intense game. That was simply incredible. And Moon, you were top fragger that game. You won the pistol round. I mean, what happened in the later stages when Meet Your Makers piled the pressure on?
We just didn't get into the game after some point where we just lost 3-on-5, I think. And nothing more to say. We just have to concentrate on our city side now and get 9 rounds.
The whole crowd are behind you. Everyone in here in Hanover is behind you. What have you got to say to the fans?
Bitte feuert uns an, gebt nochmal bitte richtig Gas für uns. Dann schaffen wir das auch.
Ulf, Gates, attacks. 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 Ulf, Gates, attacks.
Auf geht's, Attacks! Auf geht's, Attacks! Auf geht's, Attacks! Auf geht's, Attacks! Woo, auf geht's!
Woo! Thanks for your time.
Well, the plan was for Matt to say that before it, but I couldn't quite teach him those 3 words in German, so we let Moon do the honours instead.
Fail. Absolute fail.
Well, hopefully the crowd actually offer a little bit more going into this one. You know, they were noisy in the first half. Attacks, in my opinion, didn't have the greatest of T-sides there.
They didn't. They would have. They diversed it. If you break that half down into 2 halves, they won the first quarter. The second quarter, though, MYM came back, showed their class. As they said, they like it when their back's up against the walls, and it was, and they benefited from it.
Yeah, MYM are sat down behind their machines as our alternate, so we shouldn't be too long in getting this one back underway, but we've hit the half-time point. MYM 1 point in the lead. Who's going to take it now?
You've got to favour MYM at this stage. Attacks under pressure, perhaps an unfamiliar situation for them because they've had no pressure on them this entire tournament. Now they come into this as favourites, and they have to turn favouritism into a victory, particularly with an expectant crowd. So new situations for Attacks. MYM relishing it.
Yeah, I think the pressure now is off of MYM. Obviously, they want to perform. This is their first tournament under their new kind of managerial structure of the whole franchise thing that's been going on. And I think they want to impress. They want to put MYM kind of back on the map because they have fell off it recently.
Well, who knows what's going on in the MYM boardroom, if you will. A whole load of stories came out over the past 2 weeks. We said to Twice on the first day, what's going on? Does it have any impact on the players? He says no, but you do wonder how much they need this win.
Yeah, of course, there have been rumours circulating around as well that MTW may lose their CS team, which, in my opinion, was the most ridiculous rumour in the world. I mean, and that team is MTW right now. They've since said, why would we ever get rid of that team?
Yeah, I look forward to getting Gudo on the couch and putting that question to him, and him's basically making people look like idiots, whoever posted that first.
SK. So we'll get this one underway very, very shortly. I think maybe MYM have players running off to the bathroom, but certainly we should get things started. I mean, alternate now on CT side. I think if they win, well, they have to win pistol from a confidence point of view as well. Not necessarily, of course, from the way that the rounds are going, but I think for their confidence, they have to start well in this one.
Yeah, important that it's a good start. Important that they don't let any negativity from that first half seep in. And that they build into the second half. I think it's important for them. SK have defeated We Made Fox. It finished 16 rounds to 8. SK will face the winner of this. Remember, SK yesterday beat MTW, showing that there's still class in those old legs.
Yeah, SK for me were quite bad. They weren't that great at the European finals, let's say. And Wally even said that their European finals were a disappointment. They qualified for the globals, and that was, for most of the teams, the aim coming into this one. They just, as long as they got to these global finals, that was job done. Of course, they went on to drop out of that, but I think these global finals, they've done almost similar to Fnatic in that they've picked themselves up and they've kept going and kept building on what they've been kind of putting together over the last few days. And I think SK may just have a good finish to the tournament.
Remember, this is exactly the same SK lineup that came second in the World Cyber Games. I mean, that is no small feat, particularly considering how some of the other teams were performing there. They took a map off MTW in that final. They have beat MTW. So it's absolutely possible for SK still to come on and win this one.
MYM at the moment in the huddle for half-time, and they know that first half meant that they're probably favourites now for this game going forward. And we were looking on Excel a bit earlier on, actually evens for this game going into it. So that just tells you how kind of close this matchup was always going to be. There's only one round different at half-time. It could still go to anyone.
Yes, could still. But from MYM's perspective, this is probably the easiest half-time team talk they've had here at CBIT, because everything else has been pressurized. Now it seems that there's a little bit less of an anxiety about that chat that's ongoing.
I shall get this one underway as soon as MYM have finished doing what they need to do at this half-time stage. And for them now on T-side, I think MYM are a better T-sider team. Neo in particular, when he's on fire, he can really almost carry his team. And I think if they put him in the right positions, get him into the right situations, that MYM shouldn't have all that much of a problem with this half.
How much in that huddle do you think Twice is able to contribute in Polish?
I think he just smiles a lot and then says, "Come on, guys," at the end.
MYM are back in their seats. We're back and ready to roll. And this is going to be a very, very tense final.
Yep, we have the final half about to approach. And of course, if you don't know the situation, this is a relegation game. So it's between second and third place teams, alternate in second place in Group A, MYM third place in Group B. And the winner will go through into the playoffs, which is a double elimination playoff, along with the teams that have already qualified, which of course are SK, MTW, and Fnatic. So this is a final place in that kind of Final Four.
Yes, most definitely. There's a huge pressure. Well, there's no second chance. There's no loser bracket. There's no scenario like that you get at other tournaments. No best of three. It's all on this match. Lose this half, you go home. And that's a crucial scenario because I think it's pretty rare now that there isn't a loser bracket or something like that. I favor it. I understand the mentality for it, and I like it. So it does make a real spectacle of this second half, which is just about to get underway. The pistol round of the second half. Joe, take us away.
Yep, quick rundown of the teams again in case you're only just joining us and you don't know these famous lineups. Of course, Meet Your Makers from Poland, Neo, Luck, Kuban, Lord and Taz. And for alternate, Aprox, Roman, Romanar, Pan and Moon. So we will get this one underway. As we said, the score is 8 rounds to 7 in favor of the Poles. And well, guys, alternate really need your voices for this one. Alternate, again, setting themselves up quite thinly over the map. 2 down banana, 1 down middle, and 2 over in that one side. And we'll continue to just sit back. I mean, they are maybe going to peek around middle, but MYM are taking things very slow on pistol. We saw their pistols round on Inferno yesterday was super, super aggressive. And we'll have to see how that kind of impacts on this one today. Already some action going to take place. Alternate have pushed down into one of those storage areas inside of middle, but after firing off a couple of shots, they decide to come away. MYM, though, literally toss a right back at spawn.
Yeah, interesting stuff from MYM that they've decided to sit this far back. MYM were not pleasing on the eye in their assault yesterday, and this perhaps a callback to that. They've spent 60 seconds back there, now coming out all guns blazing, now find themselves the first frag and the second. Lord of the double, Aprox and Moon both dispatched of. Alternate need this next frag, otherwise it's curtains for them. Powering into that top frag, top site, Lord gets himself his third. He's on absolute fire, he's got 4! Unbelievable stuff from Lord. Can he turn this one into the ace? He's gonna put that bomb down. It's Romanar that's the last one left. And my God, Lord is on fire, he's got the ace! Can you believe it? Unbelievable stuff from Lord. That's a highlight of this one.
Yeah, certainly 5 kills and the bomb plant. Well, that round was all about Lord. I mean, he could have done that on his own. Yeah, who needs teammates? He stood up at the end of that one and gave a big, big shout. 9-7, MYM lead in this one. And that was the dream start to this match for them. I mean, now they're really in that driving seat. They're on the T side. They've got the freedom to do what they want. They don't have to play to the pace of the opposition. And I think that's where MYM will feel most comfortable. Of course, this second round, we have a bit of a mixed bite. The score 9-7 to Meet Your Makers, just so Mr. Hoffman down here can figure that one out. Apparently he's slower than every other person in this room. Alternate, of course, have no cash. Luck's got himself an MP5, and MYM again will wait out the clock. You can see now sat right back in spawn. No real rush from MYM. They don't want to give these rounds away. They want to make sure that these 3 come onto the board without any problems. They will start to make their way around. Some shots coming in from Romanar from Banana. That did a bit of damage to Kuban, but now that MYM push will move in. Lord looking to follow up from that pistol round. Ace will make his way around. Kuban gets 1. Lord gets in quickly. Roman will shut down 1 with his pistol. Makes it 2, but he was quickly pushed in and destroyed by Luke's MP5. And that will bring it to 10-7. Only 6 rounds needed now for MYM.
Excellent start from MYM. They're making this one hard. They're making this one, well, almost undoable for Alternate. They're going to Alternate to come onto that first buy round after this with a 4-round deficit on the assumption they don't pull this off. And that is a massive mountain to overcome. The MYM side are starting to show a little bit of that individual flair that we saw from them in previous years. Neo top fragged in the last half. Lord came up with 5 frags on the pistol. And MYM are rocking and rolling. But there's still a lot of CS to be played here. And it starts with Kuban's HE onto Romanar. First frag for MYM in this half. Romanar was the first one to really extend himself, and Kuban's now dropped back. The rest of this alternate side are, I think Aprox has just seen this push from MYM. Although Moon is not retreating. And MYM thinking about rotating. Not just thinking about it, doing it. Pulling themselves back and now looking to come up the banana way where Moon is in wait. Moon's about to have it all come his way. There are 5 very angry Polish people right behind that wall. There's 1, there's 2. Oh, he gets himself the first frag. But he wasn't quite sure. At what point do I pull the trigger? Because I know there are more people coming my way.
Yeah, sneaky stuff from Moon. He managed to get the one which, pistol round. What more do you really want to expect? And MYM are lucky that that third man actually checked behind that wall. I'd have thought the first one would have. Common sense and everything. But they didn't. They lost 1 man for it, but it was still not a hard round for them. They go 3-0 up in this half. That means 11-7. 5 rounds away from the victory, but now, of course, Alternate have the money to buy weapons, and this is where they really have to pull things back. First gun round of the second half, they have to pick up this round.
It is an absolute must-win for Alternate. Pressure situation now, because this is a match-defining moment.
Brox is off and down middle. Actually, MYM going to inject some pace into their T-side strats as they moved straight up middle, but promptly slowed things down again. Moon will be the man that watches out over by that banana area. Lord has actually picked him up himself at 1. Roman already gone aggressive, and Alternate playing differently to MYM. They're playing with a bit more urgency on this CT side. And, well, the way that MYM have been playing, not just in this game, but also yesterday on T-side, that they've kind of adapted themselves to sit back and soak up any kind of CT push. They've lost another man in the form of Luke. And we went down to Roman. The remaining 3 MYM players will go up against 4 from Alternate. Taz really making sure that there is no one hiding in any sneaky places on this one. Smokes will be tossed out here any second. MYM not sure which is the best course of action with only 3 men against the 4 of attacks. And it looks like they've decided, as you can see on your screen, where to go. Moon is still over by that right-hand 2 bomb site. MYM have to be careful. This window in middle can be a real nightmare if you don't call it. We've only got 26 seconds to go, and now MYM will have to make that attack as Alternate start to move around. Moon will pick up 1. Prox will come in as well. Neo is loud, the last man standing. He's taken down 2. It's a 2 versus 1. Can Neo pull this off for MYM? He's got Moon and Roman out to find. And he will edge his way around now. AWP fires down onto him. Neo down to 2. Moon will hit him second time in a row. And well, that round won by Alternate, and they give themselves a little bit of hope. 11-8.
Very, very important round from Alternate. Had they lost that, they would have been staring in the face of defeat. They didn't. They clawed their way back into it and now have the opportunity to ask questions of MYM, who know that with their lead intact, may go for a save on this one. Had bought nades, so they are going to flurry on through. It'll be Kuban B to lead the attackers up the left-hand side and toward that one site come MYM. No, they're not. They sit back. It's a mine round from them. They're not going to risk anything. Lord has gone a long way down the side, but nobody there for him. Pan and Roman are nestled in the back of that defense at the moment. Back at one site. MYM still cagey. And it's this sort of read and react attack that hasn't worked for them yet. It didn't work for them yesterday against MTW on Inferno. They're 3-1 up on their T side, but that includes a pistol round conversion. And we'll see whether it can work for them here. Oh, Moon! He'll have nightmares about that shot. Could have opened up the round for Alternate. In the end, has to retreat, has given his position away as well. And that's forced MYM to go the other way. And that's opened up the fragging for Neo. And Lord comes in with another one. Pan's the only one offering any resistance. Kuban and Neo have got 2 more. There's just 1 man left to find. And Moon has to make amends. And he doesn't. He does get himself at the 3rd bite of the cherry. A point-blank frag onto Neo that gets the round of applause. However, he's down by Kuban. And MYM respond in bullish fashion. But you have to say, Moon's miss was round defining.
Yeah, if you're going to control an area like Banana, you have to hit those shots initially to kind of not only take a man away, but also strike a bit of fear into MYM to stop them attacking that area. And in the end, they went up into that one site, and it looked almost easy for them. Lord had pushed all the way underneath into the back entrance of that site through the doors. And it worked out perfectly for him. Kill comes in initially from Kuban. I'm looking here at Alternate, who are of course on an eco, so you can expect this one to go to MYM as well. That would put them on 13 rounds to 8. Look, picks off Moon in middle. And you can't really see an opening for Alternate. They are going to rotate around now into this side. Roman will look for the frag onto Kuban, but look, and Taz will finish up the frag in an easy round for MYM. They are 13 rounds to 8, 3 rounds away from the victory, and it's looking good for the Poles.
It is looking very good for the Polish side. Alternate's response was only momentarily, and now there is a big question for them. Can they make a difference here on this round? Can they stop this MYM machine? Because it's going to be a tall order at the best of times, but when you're down 13-8 and when you're missing your shots, it becomes harder. They're on a save.
Double eco. They're going to have to leave it until the 14th round, and that's their only hope from there. They have to win then every round after that, which, you know, we always like to count Alternate out of, but they always like to prove us wrong anyway.
Yeah, this is the biggest question that they were been asked though, and it is going to go to 14. MYM lead by 14 rounds to 8.
Seem to have picked up a few fans since we asked last time as well. But I mean, if you look at this, if MYM go into that, if MYM win this game, the top 4 is then of course already decided. MTW, Fnatic, SK, MYM, and you know that's an all-star lineup right there, and it proves. You know, before this tournament, there was some. Are the Asian teams better than the European teams? Can the American teams do anything? And it just shows once again that the European scene is the dominant scene in Counter-Strike 1.6. And to have all 4 teams in those finals being European, I think shows a hell of a lot. MYM, of course, can put themselves onto game point here. If they win this one, then they have a lot of rounds to make sure they get that final one. Props has himself an AWP Alternate. No. The consequences of losing this round will be a long, hard fight, and then in overtime, should they be able to do that. But they've been there before. I don't think it will scare them all that much. Neo is still back in spawn, and MYM know also the Alternate of double ecoed, and this round they're going to be armed fully with AWPs. I imagine Moon has an AWP as well. He does indeed on Banana. This time he has to make it count. Pan and a pro's going to work. Taz will reply with one. Pan goes down. Taz with his second. Brilliant play from Taz. And the third one would really be the icing on the cake for him. Smokes will go now into that one site as Taz just peeks out around the corner. The smokes are down as he boosts his teammate up onto the boxes. A Prox and Moon are already watching. Taz is now the last man standing. A Prox takes him down. And that is 14 rounds to 9. Alternate give themselves a chance. That double eco paying off.
The double eco did pay off. It's a gamble at that point because it would take you to 14, as you know, as you said. And, well, if it continues to pay off, then really there's still life in them yet for this Alternate side. Remember that MYM need to just pick up one more to take us to match point. And so it does basically require a full match victory here from Alternate, who would need to pick up 6 more rounds consecutively to avoid the drama of extra time, but we may not need it as Romanar comes up with one, opens up the fragging. Lord B, Taz and Luke instantly retreat back through the safer areas of the map, but there's no safe area when Alternate are hitting their shots. Moon gets the AWP drag onto Neo. That's just plucked out in the middle. Now going down the Banana towards them. Moon's lying in wait for them again and will meet the full force of Luke, who opens up the bomb site for MYM. Now make their way up to the top of the ladder. The bomb is planted. Good grenade goes off right onto one of them. Prox with a frag and a half onto Law B. Alternate now make the reclaim on that site. It's Pan who finishes off the job. Good work, Alternate. Good recovery. And the score is 14-10.
6 more rounds in a row is what Alternate need to win this game, 16-14. That's their favourite score. They've won, I think, almost every game they've won has been around 16-14. Certainly the stage games, they've like to come back into the game against MYM. Against MTW, they obviously came back, I think, 11 rounds in a row they took on Train. And still, it's possible for them to do that huge damage here as well. As soon as the confidence gets into Alternate, that's when you really see them shine. Roman will lose out inside middle though to MYM, and MYM going to use this one to their advantage. They're going to push in aggressively. Neo will take the point, and I couldn't think of a final player to do so. Moon will bring one back. Moon then falls quickly to Taz. Neo still in that position, but Prox will pick him up. Roman R is over the side as well. He finds Taz as they move into this side. The bomb is planted. It's all on Kuban now to save this round for MYM. He's still got 100 HP. He shuts down Roman R. It's 1 versus 1. Kuban versus a Prox. AWP versus AK. Can he do it? 42 health points. A Prox is going to be... Super aggressive through the smoke, gets the kill, high fives through for Alternate, and the Prox keeps them in the game, 14-11.
That shot was sensational, unbelievable. There are not enough superlatives in the English language to describe that. Smoke out
is a good one.
Smoke out, jumps around the corner, pops him off, and we'll be seeing that one for a long, long time. Great stuff. Alternate, 2nd round in a row. They lose that number 2 site and recover it well. Now though, Law B is going to rush with Kuban. And the pair of them now retreat back, going up the ladder as they make their way out. MYM in trouble. The Alternate side with confidence flowing through their blood right now. Warp shot fired off, that was by Moon, didn't land. Neo's going to push up. Gets himself a frag through the wall onto Moon. Beautiful stuff. Roman comes in, Luke down, we're at 4 on 4. MYM not making this comeback easy, but we wouldn't want it any other way. Neo sits on the banana, making sure no one pushes out from behind because Kuban, Lord and Taz are going the other way. Nade to the face of Neo takes down 40 points of his health. And a Prox gets the justification for throwing that nade. Neo now pushing up to the middle, looks to make a bit of noise, but the assault's going to come from Taz on the other side. He finds Swan, it's Pan that goes down. Lord got himself another one. Alternate have been outclassed on that right entrance as they now have Roman to have to go big for them. Or to for them, they are going to retreat. Alternate, having had 2 very expensive rounds that they won previously, know that they cannot afford to rebuy, and thus have decided, oh, Roman. That's an absolute schoolboy. Falls down the ladder, and they won't get away with that weapon. And Neo is going to come looking for a Proxys. And Neo is going to get a Proxys. And when MYM want to, they are brutal.
The score 15-11. MYM on game point now. They win this one and they go through into those playoffs along with SK Fnatic and of course MTW. Just looking at the situation here for Alternate. Roman, after his epic fail of the last round, has himself a deagle. And Alternate really have to pick up something special here. They're going to go pushing down with the Deagles into that middle area. Moon has got himself a FAMAS, and they've of course put out whatever they can. Neo will get one. Moon returns the favour. A Prox, and no going to work. I can't believe this from Alternate. There's still a chance, of course, of this round going to MYM. A Prox gets a knife onto Kuban. Not sure what happened there, but great to see anyway. And now Taz is left for the polls. It's 1 versus 2. Moon has 48, Prox 63, and I think it's going to be Moon to meet Taz. Moon spots Taz, and he misses the shot there. He will edge his way around these boxers. Who's going to spot who first? It will be Taz to take down Moon. Taz could win it here for his team as he continues to move in. Well, Prox has an AK. Taz has an AK. They've got similar health points, and we've got still 1 minute to go. A Prox here will move around. He spots Taz there a second or two. He will pick up and takes it. And Taz tries his best there for his team, but it brings it back to 15-12. 3 rounds to go, and Attacks can still do this. They can still pick up those 3 and push us into overtime.
I thought it was a bit of a gamble from Alternate there, splitting it up. 2 on 1, he got the numbers. Additionally, the, Moon kept his FAMAS rather than picking up an AK that was on the floor. And they split it up so that Taz was going into 2 1v1s rather than a 1 on 2. However, it paid off for them, so we forgive them. As Alternate are going to go head on to meet the MYM side, and they make their way through. Lord and Kuba pick it up. Great threat coming in from Roman! Alternate! Absolutely sensational stuff from them. When you are on match point and you are staring defeat in the face, to go charging into the faces of your opponent, take some balls.
The score 15-13, 2 rounds away from tying it up. It looks like MYM aren't going to be ecoing. Did Taz get shot there? No. He was just slow to move off. It looked like he got hit. But this is the round that really MYM are almost already conceding, you know. They can't afford to buy in this one. And they will sit and they will talk about what is going to happen in the next round. They don't particularly care about this one. Whatever they get will be a bonus. The real round comes in the next one. Of course, it will be down to just the 1 round remaining. Alternate, famous on this stage here at CBIT for coming back in games and really giving us games which, well, are amazing. Let's put it that way. Moon will watch, as usual, down banana. We've got pans for mass inside of middle. And MYM still continue to sit back. They're still discussing what's going to happen in the 30th round. Leo is edging through with his teammates at the moment. There's still men waiting for Alternate. And that's the thing about Moon, he's not moved. And that's why Moon is, you know, such a great holding player, because he doesn't get bored of just sitting there and looking at the same pixels for 2 minutes. We'll continue to watch there. A few shots do come out onto Moon, and that will force a rotation from Alternate, and it will probably be in the right place as well. They will now start to move up. Who's going to make the big moves for Alternate? Moon will get one onto Taz. They continue to push around. Moon with a triple. Roman and the pulse going to work. And tough pot. We are down to the final round. 15-14. Alternate have come all the way back. It's 1 round. It's a win for MYM, or it's overtime. I have no clue which is going to come out.
I know what I want. I want more of the same. This has been a brilliant game. The fans have found their voices, and they need you one more time. Alternate are 2 minutes away from pulling back one of the comebacks of all comebacks here. MYM have got Lord B going underneath them. Alternate, Pan, Roman, and Prox set up. MYM have decided that, unlike Alternate, when they needed a round, they're going to take this one slow and easy. Alternate just came down and unleashed the firing squad. And there is work to be done by Alternate once more. Lord B still rotating around. This attack is dependent on what he does from behind. Neo and Kuban split up to go through the middle. Luke and Taz to come from the left. And Lord B from behind. That's how it'll play out. A 3-way split. It'll either look very good or it'll all fall away. Here come the poles. Up from the left will be Luke to go down first. Alternate are 4 frags away from pulling this one off. Pam will take that first one. Taz now goes looking for more. sees that Pan has retracted. Nade comes across, Taz is ready to go on through. Neo gets one, Roman gets another one, though as alternate go tit for tat with MYM. Neo comes in and levels us up at 3-on-3 before Pan strikes him down. Kuban with one, Taz with another. It's all on one man. It's Moon to save the day for alternate attacks as he will nade on through. Bomb planted. Moon comes around that corner and dies. MYM have defeated attacks here on Tuscan. They took it down to the very last round, but the stack on that site proved too much for Moon. And the Germans, the lovable Germans, the great entertainers of this stage, have been eliminated.
What a fantastic game. I mean, Moon at the end there, that stack was in favour of him. You know, if he'd have just got the first frag and dropped the other man down, his aim would have been off and he may have just pulled that one off. But 16-14, we couldn't have asked for really a better game, maybe aside from 4 or 5, maybe 10 overtimes. But, you know, alternate, on the other hand, came back into that one. They were looking down and out. They were on 15 rounds to 11. They came back 12, 13, 14. And then MYM had, I guess, the longer neck to get over the finishing line first.
Yeah, unbelievable game. I feel like I've run a marathon. I've not moved out of my seat. What a match that was. MYM know that they've been tested and they've come through that test with flying colors. And that for them will give them as more confidence than they could have possibly asked for. It means they go on to face SK next here on the stage. That's a big game in itself. And well, gotta say, wow.
You know, 5th, 6th position is what alternate have pulled out of this tournament, and I really think if you'd have said that to them before this whole week here at CBA, if you went to Sega and said, hey, you can take 2nd in the Euros and 5th, 6th at the global finals, take it or leave it, he would have snatched your hand off and run away probably after so that you couldn't get it back. And I think the alternate have to be really happy with this. Yes, they've not gone maybe as far as they wanted after winning that 2nd place in the Euros, but this is a great start to the year from alternate. They've just started out in the new season of the ESL Pro Series in Germany. That is up for the grabs now as well. And I think really alternate have opened this German scene once again, and before it was all about Mousesports. End Faculty were the kind of 2nd place team in the EPS finals and things like that, and alternate had fell away, but now with Roman back in the side, and I remember seeing his first game in the Intel Extreme Masters main round online, which they won, and saying Roman's going to make a big difference for alternate this year, and well, I think we can safely say that that was right.
And look at who's up on the stage there, giving them the pat on the back. It's Capio. He's up there telling them, you guys were something special this week. You guys played brilliantly. Take heart from that. And I think that's a great big sign of friendship and whatnot. So amazing stuff. But personally, a big thank you to Alternate. They've been a fairy tale story this weekend.
Yeah, you've got to kind of applaud Alternate in what they've done this week. But we can't take anything, of course, away from MYM. They won this game. They will go on now into the playoffs. And the top 4 teams, as we said, already decided: MTW, Fnatic, SK, MYM. It can't get any better than that, can it?
Well, we could talk to MYM and find out. And I guess that's what Matt's about to do.
Yeah, Matt is on the stage with Taz from MYM. What a game, Matt.
Simply breathtaking, Joe. Unbelievable. The suspense, the tension, and the emotions of the crowd was absolutely incredible. And Taz, it must have been hard for you going into that game with so many of the supporters cheering for attacks.
Actually, we are pretty used to it, thanks to ESWC finals when we played against NOA, and around 5,000 people were cheering for them. So yeah, we were pretty used to it.
And the defining moment of that match for me was the pistol round in the 2nd half. Do you feel that was the most important?
I think that, yeah, the T side, yeah, when Lord picked 5 guys, I think that was one of the most important rounds in this game. And actually, we were pretty afraid to play attacks on all maps. So we decided to pick the most aggressive one, where they cannot camp so much and stay in one place. So yeah, we decided to pick them up the smallest map possible so we can push them.
And has this been the hardest game for you so far in the tournament?
I don't know, maybe mentally, because we didn't want it to go out so soon. But I think that there were a lot of tough games during this tournament, especially the ones we lost. So we are looking forward to play against MTW and show something.
And Attacks have been playing so well in this event. They've been dominating so many teams. Do you think that they're going to make a splash in upcoming tournaments?
Will they continue playing like this?
Yep.
I think, yeah, because as for Attacks, I think that they are preparing pretty good against opponents. I mean, against tactical advantage of Attacks is that they watch the demos, analyze it, and try to prepare for the other teams. And that's not the normal way we are playing, and we are not used to it. That's why they can be hard.
Yep, and looking ahead to the global finals, are we going to see you guys in the grand finals?
Hopefully, yes, and I think that with each day we are playing our better Counter-Strike, and probably today we will see more good games.
And have you got any words for the Polish fans watching the stream at home?
Well, I can say it in Polish.
Of course.
Dzięki chłopaki za wsparcie, mam nadzieję, że wszyscy nas wspieracie i będziecie wspierać w meczu z MTW i postaramy się was nie zawieść. Ciśniemy ich, ciśniemy, wspierajcie nas.
Thanks for your time, Taz. Back to Joe.
Wir sind